Guess what, y'all? You are now tapped into That's What I'm Saying, the Grown Folks podcast for hip hop, entertainment, dating, sex, relationships, and those social issues affecting our communities from a sometimes ratchet, but mostly woke perspective. So I'm Shaun.
I'm Shatara. So guess what, y'all? Follow That's What I'm Saying in your podcast app and turn on automatic downloads. It's free. It tells the apps people are listening, which is what we need, and it helps us keep making the show for the Twist Pod fam.
Also, y'all, follow us on our new YouTube channel at The Real Twizpod and follow us on Instagram at Twizpod. And if you've gotten questions for us, or you got a little dilemma for the Weekend Z Report, or you want to be a guest, a sponsor of the show, that's always great. You just want to connect, head to our link tree. That's linktree/Twizpod. Everything you need is right there. So, all right, fam, let's get into it. So, my dear sister, Shatara, what are we calling this episode?
We are calling this episode Disgruntled Pelicans. Disgruntled Pelicans.
Now, I got to give a little background because you and I, we were going to pay another tribute to the late, great Moira Rose or Catherine O'Hara, the actress Catherine O'Hara, but I kind of forgot that we did this last week. So I'm still in a place giving her flowers. So Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek, which was one of my favorite shows. But you told me, Shatara, that you didn't watch the show. I thought that you watched it.
I think the first season, I was like in and out of some episodes because our other sister is watching it. So I remember watching, and it was always funny.
It was, I mean, one thing I felt her character, first, she was just hilarious on the show. But one thing she at least taught or she showed is that, they were a couple that lost everything on the show, the whole backstory, right? But she still she was still showing up in her couture, she was very confident. You couldn't tell her nothing. And her vocabulary was just out of this world. And that is why we are calling this show Disgruntled Pelicans, because that's what she used to call her kids. So her actual babies were her wigs, and the Disgruntled Pelicans were her kids. That was amazing. So such an amazing actress. So I'm giving her flowers again. So we are calling this show.
And I'm not even mad because I was like, oh, yeah, I remember, Beetlejuice. She was the artist. I mean, I can go on and on. So, and then she's Kevin's mom. We all know she's a classic Kevin's mom. Made her way back into the credit card commercial with Kevin Hart. And she's calling out Kevin again.
Right.
Kevin was like, you lost a kid again? She was looking like, I'm looking for another Kevin.
That's right.
Yeah, she made her way back. So she's had a great long-standing career. So for us to bring her up again, I'm like, I'm not even mad. Just give her flowers. Life well lived. Thanks for sharing your talent.
Yeah.
Speaking of giving flowers, James Vanderbeek, who was the heartthrob from Dawson's Creek, he has passed away from cancer at the age of 48. So sorry to hear that, and our condolences. Rest in power. Everybody's like Vanderbeek, and the first thing people go is Dawson's Creek, and I'm like, I didn't watch that show. Then I'm like, you know what? I did watch a few episodes back in the day.
I did watch a few episodes. It was, and remember, he became a meme some years ago. Remember the disgruntled face? He was like making that face, and they were showing it was him, and he was like, I was listening to an interview where he was talking about his kids. He had sent a meme or whatever, and something he thought was gonna be funny, and his daughter sent back a picture of the meme that everybody does of his face on Dawson's Creek crying. It's like my whole career came down to a meme of me crying on Dawson's Creek. So yeah, like, just celebrating his legacy, like definitely, he was one of the contemporaries. So, and just seeing him, and he has 6 kids with his second wife.
With his second wife.
They have 6 little kids. I think they're all like from between 4 and 15 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He was supposed to, I think there was something on like Broadway and he didn't make it, but there was like a live video that he made, letting people see him in his state. And, he had some good words of encouragement. His wife spoke on his behalf, and it was kind of scary to see, like, oh my God, he looked so sick because he didn't look like himself. But he had an attitude of like, the show must go on. Like, don't waste time. That's one thing. Let me be an example of like, do not waste time.
The last thing I saw him in, I don't know if you watched, it was a show called Overcompensating by this.
Yes.
It was.
I think you had me watch that show.
I had you watch, right? But he was on there he had an appearance on there. So that was the last time I seen James Vanderbeek. That was a good show. It was funny.
I get to Ja Rule. Did you hear about Ja Rule?
I'm flowing with you. you're scanning on Instagram. So I just saw him on a plane looking back, cursing somebody out. I don't know what was going on. So break it down.
So there was footage of they show Yayo, and I think it's like Uncle Murder, like, look, this is Ja Rule, ha ha ha. And they're being like kids. So first I'm thinking like, okay, they must get along. This is very childish. And
Mhm.
then Yayo and Murder called Ja Rule a punk, and then the words went back and forth. Mind you, Ja Rule's like by himself. That's one thing
That's
we'll
what I
say.
was he yeah, was he was
He's by
alone?
himself. And then next thing you know, you see footage of Ja Rule getting up, defending himself, ready to throw down. Like, that's what we gonna do. Like,
Mm.
so later on, and defending himself, Ja Rule apparently booked himself another flight, and he called them
So he
clowns. He
got
was like,
off the plane?
yeah, basically all that. Like, he got removed from the plane. Like, all y'all, everybody gotta go. Yeah, y'all all gotta go. So that's apparently how it happened.
What?
Ja Rule booked another flight, and he called them clowns, and he said that, look at these two clowns. They look like they saw a ghost deer in headlights. And he said something about throwing a pillow and knocking his hat off. So I was like, oh, grown men is having pillow fights, fighting on the plane. Like,
Y'all
everybody's a
are being
clown.
so
But I will
mean.
say, for Ja Rule to be by himself, he didn't back down. You would have thought he had a crew and some security. No, he was
He
like,
was like,
ain't gonna
"Holla,
be no
holla."
throwing pillows around. Ain't gonna be no.
Man.
But imagine being on that flight, everybody with their cameras out.
Man.
So I was like, that was a spirit flight. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. That was a spirit flight. Nope. Right away, I was like, that was somebody's spirit. That's why they was really mad. That's why they was big mad, because they was on us. That's all that was about.
I don't play about spirit. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but then I'm just looking like, okay, even if they are in first class, like, damn, y'all don't know how to act? Like, really?
Low budget.
I felt like Queen Latifah and Juice, like, locals. Remember when Q came to give her tape? She's like, he's like, yeah, pull around the way. She's like, local.
Mm,
That's how I feel with them. I would have
mm,
been on the plane, like, locals, buckling up my spirit. Mm, they don't know
mm-mm,
how to act. So speaking of
mm.
people that don't know how to act, also, there's a viral video going around of the boxer Jarrell Miller, who's getting his hairpiece literally knocked off his head while he's in the ring.
His wig knocked off, literally.
Woo! So when I heard somebody say this, like, did you hear somebody's headpiece came off? I thought it was somebody being funny. I was like, oh, for real? Like, wait, for real? Like, yeah, his headpiece. So I'm thinking of Donald Trump with his toupee, how his, shit be blowing in the wind sometime. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, nah, I was a brother. You know how dudes be doing the little head
He
frontal
got a
pieces?
whole what do we call those? It's a lace front. It's a lace front.
It's a man's, I want to say the Steve Harvey. I don't know. He got a little bit of
Yeah, but that's
Harvey
that's
hair.
essentially that's a lace front. You glue it down, you
Well, he didn't
catch
glue
it
it good
on.
enough, because in slow motion, baby, it's not a little piece. Wait,
He
and
said he
then
used
wait,
lash glue.
what kind of he need Gorilla Glue for that. So he was a good sport about it. He laughed about it. And
Good for
ultimately, the good thing was that he won the fight. So had he not won,
him.
he won. And then listen, he had the nerve to take it and throw it into the audience.
I know that's right, and I thought I saw this white woman in the crowd. She put it on top of her head, like, for real?
Shut up. Shut
For
it.
real, for
Shut
real.
it.
A
Yeah.
mess, a whole mess. Alright.
That's what men are doing now. Men have hair pieces now. How you like them apples?
I mean, they're very much in their queen era, but do what you gotta do. I would rather I don't you know what? I don't know how I feel about it. It
Okay.
depends, like, if you
What did you I'm
like,
about to
fool me
you
once,
talk
I don't know.
fool me once. No, can you imagine
No,
like
I
he'd be like,
can't
hold on a
imagine.
minute,
That's
I gotta
why I
get
said
ready.
I don't know how I feel
And then
about
he'd be like, can I get a little bit of eyelash glue right here, babe? Can you imagine?
it. Like, ooh, like, no, I can see right here, like,
My baby, you got it.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Because I must say, some of these like online makeovers
They're
that I
looking
see where
great.
like men glow up, it is like
But the fact that
shorty.
we're talking about men glowing up is I'm at a crossroad. I like
I know. They're in their bad bitch era. These men are in their bad bitch era. Men are wearing purses, talking about, I just need to carry my keys. No, you don't, sir. I don't care who
like
made that bag.
I'm from the era where if you got a bag like that, it's because that's where your piece is, your automatic, not your wallet and
What do you need?
cosmetics.
Sometimes I see men with these, and it's like, it's Louis Vuitton. I'm like, I don't give a who
That's
made
what
it.
I'm saying. I
Why
don't
do you have
care.
it? Why are you trying to get in
I
on the
don't care.
fashions of a purser? We the Hangover. Remember, he had the man purse. It's a man purse,
But it was as a joke, right? But he had
right? Right, right? And I can understand, like, you need to carry your laptop, you work, like, give me a reason why you need that bag, but why? Like, why do you need and dudes are really carrying bags, so dudes are carrying bags, they're getting their nails done, they're getting the lace fronts, I don't know, they're wearing foundation, they're
What?
doing things.
I'm
They're
not.
wearing skinny jeans. No, no, the boot cut jeans, like, what's his name? Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar with his boot cut
Do
jeans.
you like? Yeah, we talked about those. Like, I was not a fan. I know people like them.
I was like, I think I have those. I was like, "Wait
I mean, I remember our mother calling them gauchos. Those were gaucho
a
jeans back in the day. That was the
minute."
style for women. For women.
They're in their era, like you said, they're in their era. So,
Mm,
homeboy was a good sport, but I bet you he won't do that again.
I don't know.
Anyway, well, Trump was getting backlash for the controversial picture that came up on his social media depicting the Obamas as apes. Did you see
Mhm.
this?
Yes, I did.
So,
Mhm.
a coworker of mine showed it to me that morning, and she's like, "Oh my god, did you see this?" And this is a white woman nonetheless, and I'm like, "Did I see
Mm.
what?"
Oh,
And
really?
she yeah, and she's like and I was like, "We're" like, well, she was like, "This is something that came up on the president's social media." She's like, "And I don't follow him, but somebody else sent it to me." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I guess
Mm.
as the day went on, it was taken down. So, obviously, Trump, when he's responding to it, he's like, "I didn't do it, and I have nothing to apologize for."
That he didn't do it, meaning he didn't post it?
Yeah, yeah, he's saying he said it was somebody else. It was somebody else who did it, and I'm trying to think of what did he say.
Oh, 'cause I thought okay, let me not say what I thought because did
No,
he did he
no,
take it down?
he said it
But it was removed.
he said it right, it was a staffer who put it out, and it wasn't him, and so there's nothing for he said, "I did nothing wrong, so there's nothing for me to apologize for," and that's where it stood.
Hmm.
So, they're
So
saying that, there's only one black Republican, and despite all that, like, was there at least an apology? And Trump declined, saying, "I didn't make the mistake."
so he
That's
didn't.
what he said.
Okay.
Mhm.
So here's my opinion on that. He may or may not have done it. I definitely believe that there are people, out to get him and could do that. That's the
Mhm.
one.
Okay.
But at the same time, we do know that this man, he is a racist. I mean, this is and I think once we just like we've acknowledged this, right? Like there are it's very dehumanizing no matter how you cut it. So, he wasn't coming with the apology even if he did or did not do it, but it's your people's behind it. The fact that this is the world that we live in, it's better for us to acknowledge it even in a political context.
Mhm.
Even if it was accidental that this is, we live in a society there's segregation, violence, the shadows of slavery, just basic humanity is always on the line. This is what is happening in this administration and even in this United States and across the world. This is the world that we live in. So whether it's looked at as, as humorous or not, it's really not. Um and it I don't think we should dismiss it. It's a real thing. You don't have
With you
to.
on that. He it would have been a little more like, it's a little inhumane the way he responded,
Mhm.
and I really the way I'm looking at it is when he responds, it says, like, "I didn't do anything wrong," like, so, there's nothing for me to apologize about, and then he goes on to say, "I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time." For him to even want to say that, you know what, my friend? Thank you for always letting me know where you stand. Thank you for letting me always know where you stand with the Proud Boys, because what he could have said was, "I apologize on behalf of whoever. I never meant to offend anybody. Like, if it were me, I wouldn't have liked it. So whoever I'm going to get, whoever on my team, somebody
Mhm.
needs to be fired immediately." Come off as if you know that these are people underneath your umbrella and you are offended and you're not having it. But you have such a nonchalant cavalier. So what? But God forbid somebody offend him. He's mad about a picture painted in what is that? Colorado. He's mad about a picture painted of himself. Talking to and when he mad though, we talked about that.
About how they depicted him. But I'm listening from what you just said. Like, imagine if what he said is actually the truth, that he is the least racist president that this
What
country
it
has ever had.
yes. Then what is
Then
he
what
saying?
what
What's he
but
really
then what does
what
that
is he saying?
say about all of the
Right.
other presidents? I
So
mean, it's
and it goes right up there with the Make America Great Again. What does that mean to somebody like you? Make it great again? What does that really mean? I feel you playing in our face. You playing in our
But
face.
he's been playing in our face, like, okay, so now just we know this. These are the things, like, do you need more proof? Like, we do know. He's playing, might be playing all of them all day,
Let me
but
tell you.
then what?
And it's so much so, like, with the whole history of Black people called gorillas and monkeys and our lips and our
Mhm.
we already know the history of it all.
Used
Super
forever.
offensive, right?
Mhm,
It's so historically offensive that I'm gonna tell you this. So there's a kid at the school that I work with, and he wanted to play with 2 other kids, and they're playing monkey in the middle. Oh,
mhm.
he's the only one I said, "Come here, you don't wanna play that." Just because. Just because. I was like, I don't even like that. You know, I don't even like that. No, I wanna play monkey in the middle, and they won't put you in the middle? We don't like that because then they call you the monkey too. Come on over here. You're not playing that with them. I
Mhm.
had to be the one to speak up on it because it just if I hear it, oh, it's gonna be terrible. "He's the monkey."
Yep. Yeah.
So there's such a history that people just disregarded with that, and I don't know if we become
Mhm,
so jaded with it all, but
mhm.
yeah, I think we need to really let him know, like not let him know, but his whole party. We didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, but
That wasn't cool. And you.
no, it wasn't, but it's par for the course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for letting me know who you are.
Mhm. Again and again and again.
Yeah, and that's it. So, quick fast. So,
Mhm.
future wife energy was coming from Megan the Stallion, who threw her now boyfriend Clay Thomas from the Warriors. He turned 36 years old, so she threw him this big birthday bash.
Okay.
And when I see them together, I like it.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I just know Meg the Stallion for twerking. I just know her to be just a twerking girl.
To be
But
honest with
she's
you, right? That's it.
oh
I
yeah,
don't
oh
I
okay. I thought
mean,
I'm like, what
she
you got?
rap I mean, yeah, I'm just like, okay, she raps, she's from
She
Texas,
raps and
and
she twerks and she's on Planet Fitness,
her skin
all
looks
about
great.
she's dope. She's
That looks
dope.
great.
I give her that. She's dope. I think she got her did she finish her master's degree or something? The girl got it going on. But I like seeing them together. So she
Mhm.
threw this big party and what really made me chuckle a little bit was first she started off with a picnic on the beach, something like that. And then she invited his favorite rap group, which is Bone Thugs and Harmony.
What?
Got him.
Got him.
That's the part that made me chuckle a little bit because he had an interview for GQ magazine, and that's where he told them that his favorite rap group growing up was Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Boom, boom,
So
boom, boom.
yeah, so he had a ball. He showed some dance moves at this party, and I was like, and then I don't know where I heard that like they dance slow motion to Bone Thugs Crossroads. And I was like,
Cute. Okay.
and I was like, did I make that up? Hey, did they slow dance to meet you at the crossroads?
You
My
made that
dog
up.
died, and I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom,
Boom,
boom, boom.
boom,
He
boom.
was like, "Baby, this for you."
That's
And I'm gonna miss everybody, and I'm gonna miss everybody. But I will say, Biggie came in with Bone Thugs, armed and
he sure
dangerous.
did.
Ain't too many can
He
bang with
he
us.
tore through their
He
style and did it
label
better,
us
to be honest.
notorious. Yeah, he.
Armed and dangerous. Ain't too many can hang with us. Ain't no we no label us
Yeah, label us
notorious. I guess
notorious.
use
Yeah,
that word
so
less.
Biggie came in with them like, ooh, cha 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 cha. Look, I ain't
What
got nothing to do with
what he
nothing, but let
came
me
in with? Do that again?
cha 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 cha. You should too if you knew what this game would do to you. Look at all the
Look at all the
bullshit
things
I've
that
been
I've
through.
been through. Fuck
So-called
a few
people,
female
you know
stars are
who?
cool.
Fuck a few female stars or two. How to be fucked with. See me and my thugs up. Me and my look.
Not a bunch of
Dang. Tap your game,
get your
talk your
game,
shit,
talk the
grab
shit,
your
grab your
gat,
cat,
call your
call your
click.
clique.
What you gonna do? Fight or run? All these hoes I got to like. It's a little biggie for you. It's a lot of little cursing, so we cut it up. It's a good song. So anyway, you know how we do with hip hop. So I just want to also make a quick mention before
Mm.
we make our way out of here. Ti has officially returned with this "Let Them Know," and they're saying it got all the 40s and up people. We losing our mind out
I
here.
saw you use it as the music in one of your IG posts.
Everyone, all my posts. That's all I keep. So this is collaborated with good old Pharrell, which Pharrell recently got the what award did he recently get? The Dr. Dre award Pharrell
With the
got.
Dr. Dre award. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre has an award with on BET. It's something wonderful. It's something wonderful to be at the height of Dr. Dre. Anyway, for
Mm.
production. Blah 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 blah. So Pharrell got the
Mhm.
award. He had on a nice butter rose velvet suit on that was boot cut
Okay.
with his little cute self. Nice little boot. And I said, I will wear that suit. That is a fabulous suit. It was a rose, what is it called? Dust rose? What is it called? Like a light pink? Dusty rose? Velvet? What is that? Velvet?
It
It
was
was very nice. I just want to come and touch his shoulder. Let me, for real, can I touch that? Oh, that's nice. Woo. And he was performing with clips. Ballerinas. Yeah. So I was like, okay. Anyway, so
I gotta see that. I didn't see it. That was
but
good.
T.I. song, right. Going back to T.I. song. How did we get here? From Dr. Dre to Pharrell to T.I.
Okay.
So Let 'Em Know came out and it just dropped and it is just how I brush my teeth in the morning. And good thing the husband has it playing too. We'd be on the same page, like, gotta go this morning. That's the jam. So that's the new jam for right now. And then with jams, we had the Super Bowl and everybody was looking forward to the halftime show. So the Patriots played the Seahawks. They got Patriots got blown away. Some people say it was the most boring game they've ever watched in the history of Super Bowls. Even I was juicing while it was on. I was doing the whole, and I was like, it's still 0 to 7 0. They Patriots weren't doing anything for like a long time. And yeah, so it's Patriots 13, Seahawks 29. That's what happened. But Bad Bunny was
Mhm.
serving Puerto Rico at the halftime show.
Mhm.
And I will say, they were in California, and I will say it was a good show. I
Say
would say
say it again. Where were they at?
they were in California. Santa Clara, California. And he gave a good cultural performance. He gave you the Puerto Rican culture from, I would say for the most part, it was a lot of messages in there and just like the Kendrick Lamar performance. However, this one was a little bit like a Broadway musical. It,
Mhm.
it was very much like a musical. And I will tell you this, one of the kids at the school says to me, he goes, they were doing dances like this. Right. So I'm thinking like,
That
oh, they were doing dances like this. So I said, okay. The music teacher played the halftime performance for the kids. It was two men. They were dancing like this. The two men were doing some grinding
I
on each other, and
did
they showed
see
a quick
yeah, I did see it cut to
snippet, and
that.
the kid caught it. They were dancing like this. It's like, oh, yes, they meant to do that. They meant to do that. They wanted y'all to see that. So, anywho, they started with the leaves were moving and dancing. So that was pretty cool. And they had the sugar cane, which we know the history of sugar cane in Puerto Rico. They did
Mhm.
a lot. The bodega, the woman who's like, the oldest bodega owner. And they're trying to push her out with gentrification. So that he highlighted her. We saw Cardi B. And I'm like, isn't Cardi B Dominican? But okay. Then they had, of all people, Lady Gaga with no
Well,
eyebrows
they had what
singing.
yeah, it was a bunch of them standing up there.
Also from, Menudo, what's his name?
Well, he's Puerto Rican,
What's his name?
Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
Ricky.
Ricky looked good.
Ricky looks good. Yep. Man, I remember
Ricky was looking like a
Menudo.
Ricky. Ricky was
Mhm.
looking like a Ricky.
Mhm.
I
They
was like,
had,
"Ooh,
Jessica Alba was up there. I think she's Mexican.
I didn't see Jessica Alba."
Pedro, what's the actor's name? Pedro from The Last of Us. He was up there too. He was
I didn't
standing
see
there.
him. And the people really
Yeah.
got married. The couple that were
And
there,
the
they
people
said
yeah,
they wrote to
yeah,
him
that's
and
a
he
big
really
thing.
was like, "Get married on Super Bowl. Come on
That's
down." That was
yeah,
great. But
you know,
what you think about Lady Gaga? If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you.
I you know and this is where we probably have to segue into the woke. So let me just give my so I
What you think? What you think?
essentially, I did watch the
What did
halftime
you think?
show. I would agree that the game in and of itself was probably the most ho hum of the whole thing.
Mhm.
And even the performance. I mean, I've seen Prince perform at the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
You've seen some of these very iconic artists, and not taken away from
Beyonce,
Bad Bunny. Even her performance.
she took the lights out. Come on.
But okay, so a great performance in terms of entertaining. It was pretty entertaining. I would give it mid. It was pretty entertaining. I've heard a lot of people online like, "Oh, he's not speaking it." So I understand a little bit of Spanish, but again, he's Puerto Rican slang Spanish, so even that is different, But I was up there, de visitar más fotos de cuando te tuve. That's my song. I I can appreciate Bad Bunny for who he is, and a lot of it. I mean, to me, he's very sexually fluid. Although, he's whatever, fine, and for this day
Yeah.
and age, that's what's going on. So, there's a part of me that can appreciate the theatrics of it. It was a show. We were entertained, and he was definitely repping for his people, like you said, it was the You had the cornfields, which is representative of what Puerto Rico what they mass produce.
Sugar
Yeah,
the sh
a lot of the what's that?
sugar cane.
Oh, the sugar cane. Yeah. So I would say cornfields. So in that respect, a good performance. It was entertaining, and that's what it was supposed to be.
Mhm.
But
Pero
there's a part of me,
mhm. I said pero.
pero
Mhm,
yeah. So I want to be careful how I say this, because I love doing our podcast, and this is where we can really express ourselves and express our opinions. So I'm gonna express what may be an unpopular opinion. And I'm gonna say this, and here we go
here we
into
go.
into our awaken, into our woke. I just we are now living in a world, and the Epstein files have been dumped on us. Supposedly 3 million pages, complete with videos, reports, and all of these things that are reports. So, again, and I was talking with a friend, we were talking about the Epstein files and what they entailed. And I think it's important to understand that these are reports given from people who probably wasn't doing it for money or fame, but doing it because these were actual incidences and things that were happening, and it was reported to the police. It was reported to the FBI, and nothing was done. Nothing was done. So now it just happens to be public. So in those files, there have been reports, and I want to be careful when I say this because it wasn't like every lead was investigated, but again, they were reported, and you had a lot of, and no, I didn't read all 3 million pages, and I'm not going to. But when you have certain people saying the same thing over and over, we're talking about child abuse, pedophiles, eating people, cannibalism, sex trafficking, and then you have these protected criminal networks that are allowed to continue these things. You have unaliving. I mean, they talked about snuff films, and I remember being in college, and that was a thing back in the day. It was a thing called Faces of Death, and people used to watch these snuff films, these videos. It was in college, and you would pass around this VHS, and I think it had like 4 or 5 different series, and yeah, I've seen it before, where basically it was videos of killings, people getting killed, being unalived. And when they talk about in these files that there are snuff films, because there is a market for people who enjoy and watch this filth. So you have all of these things. You have ritualistic violence. And this is another, before I go down a rabbit hole, but just to understand what this is uncovering, where it not only is implicating individuals, but now we're talking about systems. There is systemic uh demonic things going on. There's institutions and systems that are like covering these things up. And now, okay, so now we're finding out it's all of this has been made for public consumption at this point. And along with the genocides that are going on all over the world. We're talking about in Palestine, in the Congo, in Sudan. You have ICE raids. So they are military, the military organization that's happening here, the police killings. You have all these U.S. Military operations that are happening, playing out globally, um, in Haiti, in Cuba, in Venezuela, and all of this going on. And even with Puerto Rico, because yeah, Puerto Rico's in the United States, and people don't really think that. They look at it as a foreign country, but it's actually in the US, and we use
For
it
the
as a
US.
launch pad to go after all these other governments. And all of this going on, and we as a collective continue to just drink the Kool-Aid. It's almost like business as usual. No one is outraged. No one is, it's just everybody kind of lining up to get the shot again. Like, no, watching all this symbolism happening on a Super Bowl stage, and it's meant to, you feel something. And no, you don't have to understand the language, but yeah, you want to feel something. But in reality, what could be happening is they, and I say they, they're utilizing or, almost like weaponizing the culture,
Mm,
so that we don't galvanize, we don't act, we don't move forward. There's really no structural change that is happening because we over here vibing, And all these vibes without the power, without the change, without the liberation is really like what kind of vibe is that? It's, they give us what they think that we want, is
mhm,
are you not entertained?
mhm.
And we get this entertainment and we don't organize, we don't resist, and life goes on. We've got all this information that has I mean makes it clear that we are dealing with otherworldly beings and evil at its core. And we still want to know who won the Super Bowl. And I'm not sitting here holier than thou either because and we are all guilty of it, and this is why I said it's important to be of the world, be in the world, but not of it.
Of the world.
Be in it because this is for whatever reason, this is energetically where we chose to be in this day and time. It's like we are watching the fall of an empire. We're all sitting around the watching the fire,
Right.
and what's the next step? So we've been giving this information that you are dealing with real evil. We are looking in the eye, it's around us. What do we do with that? And let me speak on Lady Gaga because unpopular opinion, but when she spoke out in support of Israel, and, and I go back to what Dave Chappelle said at the show. He said, if I was ever co-opted, if they ever said, if they
Mhm,
ever got to me, know
mhm.
that that's what I would say. And I
Right.
I stick with that,
Fasting with Israel, right.
Um, but Lady Gaga is in my opinion, she's very much, a Zionist, very Zionist spicy. Um, and while the message may be, well, just love one another and just do, yeah, that's great. But how are we getting to the change that is needed, the material change that people, and this is not I'm not just looking at color. I'm not just saying, just black people, just because if we look on a global scale, as human beings and the basics of humanity, how do we get to a place where we're aligned with our fellow man in a way that moves us forward, not being, we have these distractions, and that's what with these platforms and social media, and now with all these files and everything going on, and then we sit here and we're watching Bad Bunny, great show, but to me, like, this could be looked at as another psyop. It's another psychological operation to get us to, kind of anesthetize in a way like, well, y'all got your representation, or you're good.
Right.
There's no resistance with it. Do
Right.
you
Yeah,
hear
I
what I'm
I hear what you're
saying?
saying, and it's almost as if, kinda like when people said, "You got a black president, like, you happy now?" Like,
Right.
it was to distract us, so I hear what you're saying with stuff like that. They're putting the powers that be, I don't know how to explain they, are putting things in front of us to really distract us from what's really going on and to distract us from things that we really should care about and what we should really deem important. And, we're so jaded. I'm gonna use the word jaded to what you're saying, to the point where remember I told you about how cold it was today? I said, we got so used to the cold out here because we've had like 6-degree weather that today is
Mhm.
38 degrees. And we're really like, oh, it's kind of warm taking off our gloves. Like today we're talking to each other at work. Like Mother Nature's giving us spring, huh? Mind you, it's 38 degrees. It's still cold. We got so jaded with this cold weather, so to speak. We got so jaded with, sexualizing everything and violence that
Mhm.
that it's in front of us, and we're like, "Well, it's not that bad." Like, "Well,
Mm.
at least they're not sending you a video. At least it wasn't, in your backyard, but it's
Yeah.
going on right here. Just shut your blinds. You don't have to look at it." It's what we're literally it's what's in the feed, like what we're feeding ourselves, what they're feeding us. And I would say social media is a big part of that. It's all happening electronically. Woo! That's a scary thing because we're
Yeah.
like you said, are we part of the problem? Or are we part of the solution?
And this is where we
Good.
have to look at ourselves and see where, what role do we play? And I'm even, I was even when I'm looking at the halftime show. And another thing is, I'm very careful in saying this because at the same time, no one is, Bad Bunny is not. who said put the weight of the world on Bad Bunny's back and make him the
Representative.
poster boy, like, "You supposed to," just showing the scenes of what happened in Puerto Rico, like, "Yo, Puerto Rico was invaded. There's been land theft." There was what they call, like, disaster capitalism. Like, basically, we gonna make a war and we gonna make a need, and it's gonna be a whole so many things have happened. The forced migration that was going on, just in looking at the Puerto Rico alone, the military experimentation and occupation that's been going on. With all of that, we're looking at symbols on a stage.
Mm.
That's great. That's nice. But it's entertaining. So, but again, I'm like, well, who told Bad Bunny that, he's supposed to be saving the people. But the thing is, the empire, they love to give us a show. They'll give us a show. As long as we don't demand any real changes, any end to the reign that has been happening. As long as we don't, want to end to the genocide that has been going on globally around the place, long as we don't ask for too much, they'll give us a stage. They'll let us have a show. And that's what I'm saying. So at the same time, Bad Bunny, we know you didn't, did you want to put the weight of all that is happening on your back? I'm pretty sure you did not. However, when you step back and look at the times that we're in, how can you not?
Well, apparently he is the most streamed, back to this internet. He is the
Mhm.
most streamed artist in the world.
In the world.
In the world. And
And
I'm be
doesn't
honest
care
with
if
you,
you speak English.
to the point where, for Spanish, press 2. Like, yeah, real talk. No, you're gonna watch this. Yeah, that's what the world is, right? It's like the number one language. Forget that. You called to get it in English. Guess what? But we want to let you know Spanish is the second option. That's how they talk to me on the phone. I'm like, damn, you gotta be nasty. But you get like you said, even in Spanish. So yeah, so the way the world is really on him, because by you being the most streamed artist globally, that means that you are going to be someone who is going to help us connect to other people
It means
globally.
that you have been appointed to lead some of the revolution, and if you're not seated in that mindset, then, it's like, well, maybe it sucks for him because that's where we're at right now. Like, you know, you gotta make your performances about the revolution because that's the time that we're in.
And he did, and it was, they always said, like,
But I
and
don't
when you
believe
look
that he
back,
did. But you're saying, "I don't believe that he
well,
did."
no, let me finish what I'm saying. The message behind him, which everybody basically talked about, the headline was, the message behind him was like, love conquers all. A message about love being really the key to everything. So that's what everybody was honing in on. Like, it was all about love and unity and love and unity. And it was like, okay. I just felt like I was watching a Broadway play. I like to live in America. I felt like I was watching West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Right, right. When I go back to San Juan, where will you go back and get gone? Dun-dun. That is my shit. And I'm
Oh, this
saying
is
that because
my
I
life.
loved it. Maria! I loved it. They were from what? They was in Washington Heights. Ain't that right?
This sure
And that's what I
was.
felt like. It was a little play. But
Yeah,
Bad Bunny,
I think every artist right now has to really look at their platform and figure out, are you in it to be a distraction or are you in it to be a revolutionary? Because that's really what it's coming down to.
use your platform wisely. That's really what it is. Use your platform wisely, because you may disappoint your future self. Because grand opening, grand
And your
closing.
legacy. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
that was my, like I said, I initially like, oh, it's good, but then I just started thinking about the performance a little deeper, and unpopular opinion, but you know what, it's my opinion. And with all
Hmm.
that is going on now, and I go down rabbit holes. So, I've been down this rabbit hole. And now it's like more people are coming down the rabbit hole like this is a new thing. Like, no, this is not new. This has been. So all of the deception, everything is kind of, we just burying stuff under the vibes. Like, oh, the vibe. Like, man,
You drinking the Kool-Aid. Mind you, you in the rabbit hole with your lamp. Like, you
yep.
flipped it on, like, oh,
I'm
now
just
y'all
saying,
here.
yeah, I'm just saying,
And
you get okay.
that's an
I
interesting
mean,
perspective.
yeah, and it's just like I said, being in the world, not of it. This is why I'm a person that knows that, I know Jim Jones from the block in Harlem, but I know Jim Jones who made everybody drink that Kool-Aid
Drink
too.
the Kool-Aid, right? You know the real Jim. And why would
Okay.
you want to call yourself Jim Jones, sir? Like, why would
See?
you?
I mean,
Why would?
I know that's your na but there's 2 sides to this.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, right, right, and yeah, yeah, you're so right. Why would you want to call yourself Frank White? But I'm just saying, you have to know.
Okay.
Like I say, a lot of this stuff today is smoke and mirrors. A lot of it is smoke and
And
mirrors.
theatrics and everything, and you really have to be discerning, and come up with your plan. This is where I'm at, and Imma keep talking about this, is you being in the world and not of it. What does that mean? So, being not of it means having your strategy, having your game plan of if let me tell you, because I've been in I don't wanna go off the top, but I've been in these different groups, and there's this one particular group, it's a bunch of middle-aged and older white women, and when I tell you, like, they are preparing for World War III. First of all, they're afraid, but I'm guessing, they're hearing from their counterparts what's happening, and it's a lot of fear base because the shit is crumbling. It's tumbling
Mm,
down. So they're
mm,
figuring out, their next move. It's like, the family that builds the family that built the bunkers, like
mhm.
they are preparing to go to their bunkers because it's falling apart. And I'm over here like, okay,
I
what's
see.
the game plan? So that your game plan should go from you as the individual to your family, to your community, and then globally. So how can you be an instrument of that revolution, of that change? I mean, and I feel even us here talking and having this discourse and speaking is adding to that revolution
Oh
because
yeah,
the
it's a conversation.
revolution starts here, right? It starts in your mind first before there's ever an action. It is the thought. So
Mhm,
this is what I'm hoping, as people as we're listening, you and I we laugh and joke with the best of them, and that's what I am not. I don't live in a bunker somewhere. I
mhm,
live a regular. I live my life.
mhm.
But at the same time, it is very important to be aware
Right.
and use your discernment because the world is turning fast right before our eyes. Like I said, this is like living in the fall of the Roman Empire. Can you imagine the people that was living during that time? And there's some that just carried on with their everyday lives, and there was others that prepared for the change because it's not
Yes.
happening, and it's happening very fast. So it's
Right.
not something like it's happening right before our eyes, and it's happening very fast. So
This
have your
this
game plan in place. Have a
and
game plan in place.
everything you're saying, like, it can be overwhelming and it can actually sound very scary to one's ear. It really
Mhm,
like hearing, you emphasize a lot of this. It's like, oh shoot, like that is scary, which is true. However, I would also encourage one to know that life is meant to be lived. The jig will be up. We're only here temporarily. We're not here forever.
mhm,
But you have to always understand, what does it mean to be out of touch. So you don't want to live this life and be out of touch.
mhm.
You have to find a way to navigate to still I would, how do I want to put it? Yeah, just to be in touch. Don't be out of touch. Cause ain't nothing like talking to somebody who's just out of touch. And you'd be like,
Mhm,
man, like that person is how old? Like they should have some type of wisdom on their shoulders, some type of know-how, some type of
mhm.
common sense, like you said, some type of discernment. And it's disappointing when you talk to people who are out of touch. So I think you can live and breathe a lot better when at least you're not out of touch in a world that
Absolutely.
is crumbling.
Mhm.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. So, this is the ongoing conversation, but for now,
For now. For
can we get
now.
to can we get to the weekend?
Can we get in touch with the Weekend D report?
Yep, because that's how we do. Yep.
Gotcha. We got you in. We got you in
In
the
the
door.
world, but not of it. But
Yeah.
let's go to that weekend.
Look, we have more important things to talk about. Because I'm in touch with the D. So if you have a comment or question for the Weekend D report, go to our linktree/twistpot, scroll down to the bottom, send us an email or leave a voicemail. That's always awesome. So
Mhm.
each week we will unpack a chapter from our upcoming book, The Player's Heartbreak Handbook, a survival guide for your heart, your wallet, and your peace. We're
Mhm.
writing this book for anybody who has loved hard and learned harder, because sometimes the lessons hit what before the healing does.
Sure
Oops,
does.
upside your head. The working title for tonight's chapter is called I Don't Know. We don't have a title yet. Maybe you can help us, leave a voicemail after you hear us talk about this question. Okay, so this is a gentleman. Listen to your show. You
All
ladies are
right.
crazy. Okay, thank you. I've been dating this woman for 4 months and the sex is incredible. Life like life altering. The problem outside the bedroom, we don't really connect. Conversations are dry, interests don't align, and I don't actually like how she moves in life. Should I try to build something here or just leave it as it is? What do you say, sister?
You know, I think he kinda answered his own question. It's interesting that a man would be here because it's like, well, if the sex is great, what else do you want? But no, I get it. So,
What do you want from me? Like Tyrese.
but I think he answered his own question because really it would be like, well, would you spend time with her if sex was off the table? And I mean, he's saying, what did he say? Like about he doesn't like the way she moves. I don't know what that
Like the way
means,
she
but I'm
moves.
I'm I'm
I
guessing what
get
that
it.
means.
You
Just
get
like
it? I get it.
yeah,
Okay.
like, everything is cool at night under the covers, but in the daylight, he ain't with it. So I think it's best, bro, just keep it casual as it is. Doesn't seem like she's pushing up or once. I don't know. Just make sure you don't string her along. Like everything, make sure that you are clear and you're intentional up front, and maybe give it a go in trying to connect with her outside of the bedroom in a different environment. I'm assuming they already did that. He didn't say, but I'm assuming they already did that. And like he said, he doesn't like the way she moved. But maybe, maybe a different experience in a different environment. She may surprise you. I don't know. But otherwise, it would probably be best just as my thing is like, I know and I hope that you're not stringing her along. You might be saying one thing and doing something else. Because if you're only staying for the sex, but, you've been feeding her she been drinking the Kool-Aid, your Kool-Aid, and you've been feeding her the whole thing. That ends up, when they talk about a woman scorn, because it leads to resentment, you giving her mixed signals. So I'm making up a scenario. You didn't say that, bro, but that is what you need to inquire with yourself and make sure that that's not what you're doing. You being very clear. Do not the mixed signals, that's when somebody gets hurt. So as long as you upfront and on purpose, the sex is good, and she's not thinking it's anything else other than that, it's still casual, then, as keep at it until one of y'all says no.
Well,
No?
okay. So I would say that he needs to cut the bullshit because this is a man that's bullshitting right away. So when you tell me you're having life altering sex, that is like that's dangerous right there. I know. And I know what it is to have life altering sex with somebody that I don't really care that much for either. Like, woo, like what is it? But
Mhm.
I just but and I know what that is to be with somebody like I don't really like, I don't really like how he moves. Like I don't like the fact, let's say in his case, let's say this woman has kids and she goes out and leaves her kids with her mom a little too much. It could be something
Mhm.
like that. It could be she don't really have too many interests or ambitions or just, I don't like how she is with her money, whatever it is. Like,
Mhm.
sometime, and I'm sure you've gotten a compliment on how you move. My sister here, I'm sure a dude has complimented you on like, I like how you move. Like, I'm sure because you about your business. When you're a female about your business, dude,
Right.
right? Dudes always compliment that. Like, I like how you move. And it's usually on the heels of let me call you right back. It's usually on the heels of you. That's when I like how you move. Cause men are hunters. They're hunting you.
Mhm.
So, you
Mhm.
can't always be available. I'm sorry. Can I call you back? Or, oh, cause they like the fact that you got your own life. You got shit to do. So yeah, yeah, you
Mhm.
always gonna like how I move. Watch this. Watch this. Like Usher. Watch this.
Just watch it.
So for the most part, I feel like when you have life altering sex, it is because you do connect outside the bedroom. It is because there are some connections there. So really, your connections are just the fact that you nut fast. Your connections are probably just the fact that, she's giving great head. Yeah, I'm saying it. This is the weekend D. Yeah, this is real raw and uncovered. It's probably I remember there's a guy I knew, and he would tell me that this woman that he didn't fuck with her like that. He's like, but her head is so out of control. He was like, it's
Mhm.
crazy. He told me that her head is so good, she comes with the marriage. You
So
heard
when
me?
he gets
Not,
married
not, not.
yeah.
Basically, yeah. Like even when I get married, like yo, that head is she comes with the marriage. I was like, I will never forget that. I was like, wait,
What?
what? Always keep yourself some male friends that are just, you're just
Mhm.
friends because
Yeah.
they'll give you the skinny on how they're thinking because they ain't trying to, be with you. So
Mhm.
they'll tell you. That is one story I have. I mean, I could tell you some
Oh
stories
my
from
gosh.
myself, from other men. So I just feel like, yeah, he's dragging her along. If you know that there's no interest, leave her alone because you're already dogging her right now. You already made it very clear. You made it very clear. He said her conversations are dry. So what you think? You gonna fuck her into having a good conversation? Like, what you thought?
What does she think? I mean, she could be over here like, you know what?
Interests
His
don't
dick is good,
align.
but he's corny. So
Exactly. I don't and I don't like how she moves. So it's just kind of like if she had known he was saying this about her, she would probably be like, "Let's go, little kitty cat. I think it's time to go.
you
He
think
don't want
so?
no more." She would probably wrap it up. Wrap it up, everybody. Wrap it up. We're getting
You
out of
think
here.
so? Okay. I mean, I can see it. I'm just okay.
It's a little bit like for real, like
I'm just
conversations are
thinking when you
dry.
got two consenting adults and, it's just a sex thing and you know what it is. And as long as she knows what it is, he knows what it is, and they're clear about that, then two consenting adults can do anything.
No, this is true, but he's saying, should I try to build something here or just leave it as it is? So I'm thinking like, no, don't try to build anything and don't even try to leave it as it is because then you are dragging her along. So yeah, like leave it and leave the situation. Like stop playing with her.
I
Stop
think
it.
we kind of disagree because I'm like, no,
Yeah. Nope.
I think he can, as long as he's clear and he's being honest and he's not stringing her along, because I'm sure she's getting something out of it too.
Sure. Conversations are dry. Interests don't align. Really? If that ain't dragging somebody along, I don't know what else is. You said that about me? Our interests don't
You over here.
as I put my robe on. That's what you said about me?
Yeah, but you never look, because it
My
goes both ways.
conversations are dry?
You can have where, man, great conversations, but the sex is blah. Or, man, the sex is life-changing, altering, but I really can't stand that nigga outside of that.
I've been there before.
So,
We asked me about my iron. Good thing you don't live here, sir. And for that, I don't like how you move. What you want to iron a white t-shirt?
man, I
And the
could
rest
just be
is
like, look, yeah, I don't know. I just, like I said, I think if
keep it
he's
going.
clear and, long as he's not stringing her along and she's on the same page, let them do what they do. Let
Keep
them
getting it in. If you want to build something, I say let it go. You can have it all, sir. You can have great conversation. You can align with somebody. Like men have so many great pickings when it comes to women. Oh my God. Oh, that's how I look at it. You can have it all. Get the conversation, get the great
a
sex.
cornucopia out here.
Yeah, you just gotta work a little bit. Women, it's a little harder for us. Hence the fact that we have testimonies of,
Mhm.
you know, he was all that and then some, and then till he wasn't.
And then,
Right?
like, that nigga wear his socks to bed.
No, his wig flew off in bed. Girl, his hairpiece was on my pillow last night.
Jeez.
He needed to put on my scarf last night. There could be many reasons.
Oh
So,
my gosh, I could anyway.
right? Go ahead, give us another one.
Nope. Nope. Because
Ooh,
I don't know what I'm talking about.
he'll
I'll be
they'll
quiet.
never know. They won't know. They'll
They will
never how
know.
will they know? They won't know.
They will know.
It's
They
not
will
it's an
know.
unmarked car. Go for it.
It's okay.
No.
Nope.
Okay. All right then.
Next time I'll drop it.
All right. That'll be a good time. You got to slide it in there because I'm totally anonymous with mine. Like,
But
uh, totally anonymous. Totally anonymous.
I said
Who knew?
one. Like, yeah, you gonna wear socks and that? I don't like the way you move.
Excuse you?
You need
Excuse you? Wait. You want your change back? Because you got me used tires? What?
okay.
But you like hanging out here, though. You like hanging out. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
But you need your change back? And the rest is history. I don't like the way
Anyway,
you move.
I don't like the way you move.
That, that's what we're going to call this. Get to
I don't like
That's
the
what
way
this
you
chapter
move.
is called. I don't like the way he moves.
Well, it should be.
I don't
Okay.
like the way you move. And what does that mean when you don't like the way a person moves, right?
Mhm.
He talking about I stayed out of work because I hung out with the fellas and I took a sick day. What? Me and my boys are
Anyway.
going to DR for a boys trip. How many times have you gone? 3 times this year. Really? What's in DR that really has you going to play golf, sir?
Child. Ugh.
I don't
Alright,
like the way
alright,
you
alright.
What you
Look,
get?
I'm gonna get into my jam. This is my jam. So I'm gonna take you back to 1979. Not that I was there, I actually remembered it, but 1979 was Ring My Bell. It was a time of disco, and that was the song Ring My Bell, which was a song written by Frederick Knight and performed by Anita Ward. Rest well to our aunt, Anita Ward. But
Yeah,
this was Ring My Bell. It went to number 1 in 1979. It hit the Billboard charts. And funny, the song was originally written for 11-year-old Stacy Lattisaw. She was a
that's
teeny
crazy.
bopper. It was supposed to be like a teeny bopper song about children talking on the telephone. But when Lattisaw signed to a different label, then musician Anita Ward was asked to sing it instead, and it became a major hit. So, ring my bell,
Ring it,
ring
ring
a
it.
ling a ling. And if you are like me going down rabbit holes and understand a little bit about gematria, which is numerology in music, this song Ring My Bell actually it is coded with I am wealthy. So it's actually a song that you can use to manifest wealth or get rid of debt. Just even just playing it because it's repetitive and you hear it and ring my bell, ring a ling. Even the cowbells playing in the song. It's
Wow.
actually very it's very magical. So that
Keep on,
is my
keep on.
song, Ring My Bell. Ring my bell. Ring a ling a ling. You
That song
can
is
ring
timeless.
my bell. Isn't it? And
I
it's a
feel like it
happy
shows up in
song too, like,
movies,
when you play it.
commercials, like, "The cocaine is good, Carlito!
Uh-uh.
Hey, cocaína."
Oh, I gotta plug in my computer. Yeah, so that was my song. That was Ring My Bell. Mhm.
Alright, and that's crazy that 11-year-old Stacey Lattisaw, I'm
I
like,
didn't know
"What?"
that. Yeah.
Fun fact, and she took that song and was like, "Watch what I do with this. Watch this."
And did it, and it's still a classic, and we're talking about it almost 50 years later.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Alright,
Alright.
y'all.
We
Yeah,
took it to
so
disco, y'all.
get it on the disco. Get it
Mhm.
on the disco. All right, y'all. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do us a favor. Like it, comment, share it with a friend, and subscribe. That's how we grow the show and how we keep our community strong. And make sure you're following us on Instagram at TwizPod. That's where the conversation continues. Also, we have a new YouTube channel. It's at The Real TwizPod. So make sure you follow us over there. And Shatara, what else we want everybody to know?
Yes, let me just, double that. Yes, please join us on the Real Twist Pod. We gotta need y'all in the other living room. Come over there. Come over there. And listen, if you got a question for the Weekend D Report, want to send a shout out, or you're looking for merch or anything Twist Pod, just head over to Linktree/Twist Pod. Everything is right there. I promise. Yes, so yes. And if you want to keep up with my comedy shows, podcast appearances, and TV events, you can go to my website, shataraCurry.com.
And as always, y'all, we love you. Thank you for just listening and watching and tuning in and just being the energy that we need.
Yes, as always. Thank you all. Sincerely, stay healthy, stay well. Till next time. Peace.
Peace, y'all.